They say the cruelest betrayals don't come from strangers, but from the very blood you once held in your arms. I never thought my golden years would be marked not by peace, but by my own son, banishing me from my home, stealing what was mine, and leaving me with nothing but shame. But what he didn't know was that the very ticket he stole, the lottery ticket, had my name written all over it, and in the end, the truth would break him harder than he ever tried to break me. My name's Frank Miller, I'm 67 years old, a retired factory worker from Dayton, Ohio. For 40 years I pulled double shifts, steel-toed boots on concrete floors, breathing dust and sweat so my family never went hungry. My body aches now, my knees crack when I climb stairs, and my hands shake when I pour my morning coffee. But I had my routines, sitting on my porch at sunrise, listening to the birds, glancing at old photos of my late wife Susan smiling at me from the mantel. Family was supposed to be my reward for a life of sacrifice. My son Jason was all I had left. I raised him on discipline and love, even after Susan passed. But as the years rolled on, I realized something. The boy I raised had grown into a man I barely recognized. Jason was 36, restless and entitled. He'd drift in and out of jobs, always looking for the shortcut, the easy way out. I paid his college loans when he dropped out. I gave him his mother's car when he crashed his own. Every time he stumbled I picked him up. But lately his words cut deeper than I cared to admit. Dad, you don't get it. Times have changed. You're old, out of touch. Just stay out of my way. He said it in front of his friends once, and they laughed. I swallowed the shame. I reminded myself, I was his father. A father forgives. Every Friday I had a little ritual. After cashing my modest pension check, I'd stop by Joe's Gas and Go. I'd grab a cup of black coffee, a pack of chewing gum, and one lottery ticket, same numbers I'd played for 30 years. It wasn't about winning, it was about hope, a flicker of chance. Jason always rolled his eyes. You? Win the lottery? Please, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. I ignored him, until one Friday, fate decided to put that hope to the test. I scratched the ticket that night at the kitchen table, my old glasses perched on my nose. My hands trembled as I saw the numbers line up, one after another. My breath caught in my throat. My heart raced. I whispered, Susan, we won. Jason walked in just then, saw my face, and snatched the ticket from my hand. What's this? He asked sharply. Son, I think we hit it. This could be the 1 inch. He stared at the numbers, his eyes widening, then his lips curled into a grin I'd never seen before, cold, calculated. Don't worry, Dad. I'll go check it at the gas station. You stay here. Hours passed. When he returned his tone had shifted. Yeah, Dad. I won the jackpot. I blinked, confused. You mean, we? No, he snapped. Me, you wouldn't know how to handle that kind of money. You're too old. Honestly, Dad, it's time you moved out. You'll just slow me down. Find yourself a retirement home or something. The words hit harder than any factory accident I'd ever endured. My son, my flesh and blood, banishing me from the home I built with my own 2 hands. I could have yelled, I could have begged, but instead, I sat in silence, the sting of betrayal burning deep in my chest. See, 40 years in a factory teaches you patience, teaches you that the loud machines break fastest, but the steady ones outlast them all. Jason thought he was clever, but he didn't know I always photocopied my lottery tickets before scratching them, a silly old habit, proof, sitting quietly in my drawer. I contacted the Ohio Lottery Commission, showed them the copy, my purchase receipt, and even Joe, the gas station clerk, vouched for me. I didn't rush, I didn't panic, I let Jason dance in his stolen spotlight, knowing his fall would be long and hard. And I called an old friend from the VFW, Bill, now a lawyer. Together, we built a case as solid as steel beams. Meanwhile, Jason was living like a king, new truck, new clothes, flashy parties posted all over social media. Folks in town whispered, how'd Jason suddenly get rich? It didn't take long for the Lottery Commission to notice discrepancies. Jason had no proof of purchase, no ticket stub, and when officials pressed, he grew defensive. One night my phone rang, his number. "Dad, look, they're asking questions. Just tell them you gave me the ticket, please, we're family." I listened to his panicked breathing, then quietly hung up. The crickets outside my window sang louder than his pleas. The showdown came at the annual church fundraiser in town. Everyone was there, neighbors, friends, old factory buddies. Jason strutted in, chest puffed out, bragging about his winnings. That's when the lottery commission officials walked in with Bill by my side. "Mr. Miller," they said, "do you have your proof?" I pulled out the photocopy, the receipt, and nodded toward Joe, who stepped forward to confirm. The room fell silent as Jason stammered, his face pale. Whispers turned to gasps. He stole it from his own father. Jason tried to speak, but the truth crushed him. His arrogance collapsed in front of the very community he'd tried to impress. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't gloat. I simply looked at him and said, "You forgot who taught you what honesty meant." The applause wasn't loud, but it was steady, and for the first time in years, I felt tall again. Jason lost everything. The law took care of the rest. He moved away in shame, cut off from the community he betrayed. As for me, I didn't live lavishly. I fixed up my old house, donated to the church that had held me up in dark times, funded a veterans program so men like me wouldn't feel forgotten. Evenings found me back on my porch, the golden sun setting across the cornfields, Susan's picture by my side. Money comes and goes, I thought, but dignity, that's the real fortune. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone you loved, you know that pain never fully fades. But remember, age doesn't make us weak. It gives us strength, patience, and the wisdom to rise when others try to bury us. Tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were in my shoes? And if my story touched you, subscribe for more tales of resilience, justice, and the kind of dignity that no one can steal.